Warning, there may be explicit language in today's episode. Viewer discretion is advised.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Wonder what we're going to talk about first.
Well, as everybody can see who's on the screen right now, it's pretty obvious what we're going to talk about first.
Yeah.
Justin McGonigle, owner of Steeler Nation, back on the show to talk about the Steelers for the first part of the show. First and foremost, I will admit I drank the Kool-Aid, like I told you guys before we started recording. Yeah. Russ started playing well. He was the best performing quarterback since Ben. That's saying a lot considering the team that I root for. And I'll admit, I fell for it. I did. I should have stuck close to what I said beginning of the season. I was like, oh, we're going to end up 10-7, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, you didn't see what the team looked like beforehand. So again, you can look at it like it was a stupid take. That's fine. But I hate to say a lot of I told you so. Wait. What am I saying? No. I love it when I say I told you so.
It's fun.
I need a second. Alex, Justin, you want to...
Yeah, let's...
I can't.
I mean, I don't think anybody's shocked that they lost those 3 games. I'd say the Chiefs was the only one they weren't ever in. Obviously, the Ravens game, that if Russ doesn't throw the pick 6, you don't know what happens there. I mean, the odds were stacked against them. They were only going to win so many in a row in Baltimore. They were only going to beat them so many times. They've had some games where Lamar didn't play. In the Eagles game, they're driving down the field. They have the momentum in a place they hadn't won since 1965. So I think, it gets a little skewed in that perspective. I still think they're a good team. They were pretty banged and beat up. The one thing that we all said couldn't happen happened. George Pickens is out for a couple weeks. There's so much that there was a lot. The schedule was horrendous, and the places they played was horrendous. It's not a lot going against them. They need to come out and kick the Bengals' ass on Sunday though, or Saturday night. I mean, and then hopefully you get the matchup in Houston, or I'm not afraid to go back to Baltimore. They can win there. They know they can win there. They match up great with the Ravens. They're going to hopefully avoid the Bills, or they could beat the Chargers or Denver, any of those. But the Bills and the Chiefs, you don't want to see them.
Yeah, you don't want to see them any earlier than the conference championship, obviously.
Don't mention the Chiefs in front of Alex.
Yeah, I mean, I still think this is a better team than the past couple of years, honestly, quite frankly, especially at full capacity. Quite frankly, everyone's been talking about the Steelers struggling to stop the run. The Chiefs didn't run for anything on Christmas Day. It was a fact of Joey Porter being out and the Chiefs having the greatest tight end of all time and the fastest receiver by combine 40-yard dash speed of all time, and Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes, I don't know. I really, honestly, I know Mike was talking about drinking the Kool-Aid and stuff, but I honestly really don't think that most of this is a Russ problem. I think Russ actually, in terms of the way he played, had probably his most vintage game that he's had in a while. He ran a lot. He looked good. His pocket awareness was good. He stepped up when he needed to. It was just, Spags and the defense are really good. Pickens is out. I mean, Najee and Jalen Warren both ran well. So I don't know. I don't really think this is much of a Russ problem at all. I think this team's just banged up and has had a vicious gauntlet of games in the second half of the year, quite frankly.
Yeah, I don't think Russ is a huge issue. Then again, he has the turnovers that have sealed the Ravens game. I mean, you got 14-7 right there, sucked the energy right out of that place, especially after they went up 7-0. You can't fumble that ball at the 3-yard line. And then obviously the pick six. Russ it's been a mixed bag. He's been good, but he's had the soul sucking turnovers that have killed everything. So
for sure.
And then the defense and the offensive line's been bad. I think he got sacked 5 times against the Chiefs.
Yeah, it was bad.
You can't have that stuff. They need to get Jalen Warren, just give him all the touches. Najee just has no burst, no down, he's just not gonna give you that explosive play like Jalen. So let's stop messing with that. He's not gonna be back next year anyways. Use Jalen, get him the ball in the flat if you have to. Stop with the toss plays. Stop with the first down run every single time.
Yeah.
And then who doesn't know they're going to throw on second down when they lose 2 yards on first down?
I know. It's obvious.
The last time we seen them go away from that was in Cincinnati, and they put up 40 points.
Yeah, damn near 50. It was a crazy game.
Trying to look at my charger. but now I think the most interesting thing that came after that game was the players' comments, and everybody saw what Cam Hayward said. Everybody, was it Deshaun Elliott that said who said everybody can't be open or something like that? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's a comment somebody said something about that. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, they were all. There was a lot going back and forth there. I think it was Queen that said that you can't leave guys wide open. Cam said that there was 10 guys doing their job and one person.
That's what it was.
Isn't.
Yeah.
Deshaun Elliott said some stuff too.
So my question is this, Justin, who are they talking about? I think it's a little obvious who they're talking about.
I mean, I think it's Cam Sutton.
Yep.
He has been absolutely dog for them since he came back. He was bad last year in Detroit. He's continued to be bad here. You might as well put Beanie Bishop back in the game.
Yeah.
Beanie Bishop.
I'm gonna take that. Wait, hold on. How does Beanie Bishop? It was 2 game-sealing picks, right? This year, I believe 2.
Well, I don't know that it was sealing. He had one late, and then he had the one that turned the game around against the Jets in the second quarter or whatever.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, the guy's been good. I can understand why they thought Cam Sutton was going to be able to come in and play a lot of positions and give them more, flexibility. I think they put him in against the Bengals the last time because they thought he'd be better in coverage, which I'm sure, who didn't? We all thought he'd be better in coverage, but he hasn't been. So you just have to go back to Beanie, I feel like, and let Cam, do whatever, especially with Deshaun Elliott back now, because Minka can play how he was playing before. He doesn't have to play a bunch of different spots.
Yeah, but
I think the emergence of Corey Trice is going to be big soon as well. Once he's fully healthy, I'm really a big fan of him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he has all the talent. So can he stay healthy?
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. I'm just baffled at the Cam Sutton thing. But I would think at least, hopefully, they see that Sutton Beanie's got to come back in. Bottom line, Beanie's got to come back in. And yeah, but looking at the game specifically, obviously final score 29-10. The Chiefs clinched the first seed. Alex, screw you. No, I'm just kidding. I like the Chiefs.
Arrowhead Invitational's back on, baby.
And I did say this last week. Justin, I said the Christmas game is normally the Steelers game. However, you are not playing the Las Vegas Raiders. You are not playing the Cincinnati Bengals. You are playing the team that probably is going to win the Super Bowl, is what I said last week. And, well, lo and behold, 29-10. Mahomes was 29 for 38, 320, 3 touchdowns. So he was Patrick Mahomes. That's it. He was Patrick Mahomes. Kareem Hunt. Like Alex said, the running game wasn't great for the Chiefs. The highest amount of yards somebody got was Kareem Hunt, and he only got 20. Travis Kelce got the ball 8 times, 84 yards and a touchdown. Also with touchdowns was Justin Watson and Xavier Worthy. On the Steelers side, Russell Wilson was 23 for 37, 205 yards, and no touchdowns and a pick. He was sacked 5 times. Najee, 13 carries, 74 yards. Jalen Warren, 11 carries for 71 yards. Russell Wilson had a rushing touchdown. He had 55 yards. Okay, just random. But and then Muth had the most receiving yards with 60 yards. Of course, obviously, the Steelers do play the Cincinnati Bengals for the last game. Yeah, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's just seems like obviously different situations for each one, but in terms of the outcome of when the season ends, it seems like rinse and repeat every year. First round exit, reload next year. Talk about the team next year. First round exit.
I mean, at least when you take from this year is that at least they were better. I mean, they're definitely better. They have more talent than they've had. Yep. You're probably going to bring Russ back. If they get lucky, they get Fields back too. They've at least hopefully solved some of the issues, some of their holes that they've had. Like we've solved the inside linebacker. We don't have to address that. Every year there's going to be more holes, and you're going to go out and get a top flight receiver, I feel like, to go with George Pickens, whether it's a first round pick or a second round pick, or they sign somebody and draft somebody probably. You got to get, you're going to get a little healthier maybe on the offensive line. Maybe you get Fontanu back, hopefully Broderick will be able to make the transition to left tackle. So at least there's those positives, and you don't want to hear that going into the playoffs. Obviously, you want them, we want to think like we did 3 weeks ago, where we thought, the first seed was possible. So I mean, you can take that from it.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said a few minutes ago, it's at least every situation when the Steelers end up in this spot is different. At least with this year, I mean, I don't want to, I know I'm jumping the gun like a lot of people do every year, but at least this year it seems promising for next year. But again, I am going to do what I did this year, and also not drink the Kool-Aid until playoffs next year. I'm going to wait until towards the end of the year to make an educated guess, or not educated guess. That's a stupid term. To make a take of where I think the Steelers are going to be next year is when we get closer to playoffs in 2025. But hey, technically, it's not gonna happen. But technically, they could still win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'd take if they can win the division somehow. The Browns beat the Ravens. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. But yeah. So looking at the last thing, Steelers wise, 3 changes we would make before the Steelers hit the playoffs. I was kind of thinking the 3 of us just go ahead, say all our 3 right away. I can get us started so you guys can think of a few, but my first one my first 2 actually have already been mentioned. My last one, if it doesn't have it, it's one of those ones because I was trying to look around and I couldn't really think of one, so I tried to think of one this would be cool if they could do this, but if they don't do but it's not going to be the end of the world if they don't. So that's where my third take is coming from. But my first one is that you permanently move Jaylen Warren to running back 1.
Yeah.
Right now. Like Justin said, Najee's not coming back next year. You might as well just start it now. So there's just nothing else to add on to it. Jaylen is just better, in my opinion. So that's it.
Yeah, I think you're finally seeing him healthy, and he's getting in a groove after he missed those games at the beginning. Sure. I think he was hurt a little in the preseason too. So, and he definitely looks like he has that explosiveness back that he seemed like he was lacking a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. Number 2. We've already mentioned it again. Bench Cam Sutton and put Beanie Bishop back in. Patrick Quinn was right. Guys cannot get open. That's a problem, obviously. So, and that's going to be a problem against Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. And then when we hit the playoffs, if we play Baltimore again with Lamar, like it's going to be a problem again. So there's that. And then the third one, fire Mike. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My third one, I'm bouncing back and forth with it. But like I said in the beginning, it's not the end of the world. This is more of this would be cool if they could if they'd be able to do this. But at the same time, they don't have, like, I'm prefacing this right now. They don't have to do this. This is more of a, I'm just throwing a third one out there because I couldn't come up with anything else at the moment. And healthy, I kind of want to see Justin Fields more involved. I'm not going to lie. I think you can come up with some concepts that can, and they already do. They already did. Like,
yeah, I think that would have been, I think they would have used him had he not got hurt more, for sure.
Yeah. But I'm talking about a lot more, like in like each drive if you can. But not to, like I said, not to say like they didn't, like they obviously did. You saw it in the Browns game in Cleveland and then other games. But yeah, just like throw defenses off, go back and forth. Like, why not? Why not? The other one I was also debating was getting Mike Williams more involved, but I
was actually thinking about that.
Which you should, but like, I don't know. I was kind of leaning towards the quarterback one, but yeah. But then again, internet, don't attack me. I was just throwing out a third one, but yeah. But I'm gonna go with the third one, having more concept plays to get Justin Fields involved. So, whoever would like to go next.
Yeah. So basically the same first two, and then the other one I was gonna say Mike Williams should replace Van Jefferson. Every snap that Van plays should be Mike Williams. I think you have a much more formidable look if you have him outside with George outside and Calvin Austin, who's developing pretty nicely in the middle. Yeah, and game plan for Pat. I don't know if that can be, a change or whatever. They need to get Pat involved in the offense much more than he is. The middle of the field, they don't use it. They need to get him the ball. He's always open, it seems like, or at least you can throw it to him open. But yeah, Sutton, he needs to hit the pine. Jaylen Warren might as well just be the full-time starter. And I think Najee can still add some stuff to the offense, but the first down runs where he gets no yards and then they throw on second down and then there's third and long, that is a recipe for disaster.
All right, I'm basically I was trying to think of some other stuff to make it a little more diverse, but I'm basically just going to revamp the entire Steelers offense right now. So we're just going to go with it. First thing, Justin, you were talking about getting Pat more involved, using the middle of the field more. Arthur Smith loves his 12 personnel. We got a scheme for Darnell Washington in the receiving game, too. The kid's huge. He moves well. He's strong. He's not the greatest blocker. It'll come with time. He's young. It'll come with time that he gets better at the blocking stuff, but he's a great receiving threat. He needs to be incorporated more, especially in those 12 personnel packages, 1st and 10, showing run, taking a play action shot. He needs to be involved somehow, whether he's splitting and leaking out into the flat or he's running across or whatever he's doing. They need to scheme to get him more involved in the game.
Yeah, the offense seems to get fired up whenever he gets a catch too. It seems like
everyone
feed off of that.
He looks like a freaking cyborg running around out there. He's so ginormous. It's ridiculous. How could you not get excited seeing that guy rumbling down the field? Number 2, he is definitely not who I'm going to compare him to. I am not saying that whatsoever. Internet, you're going to misconstrue it anyway. I don't know why I'm bothering saying anything. But Arthur Smith kind of likes some of his gadgety kind of plays. And the motions and the jet motions and the stuff like that. He likes it a little bit. He uses it a little bit. Calvin Austin's fast. Use him to some extent in kind of that Tyreek Hill Kansas City role. The fast motion, the decoy, the setting him up underneath, let him use his speed in open space. We've got guys that can block. Mike Williams is a big guy. Justin, like you said, if he gets on the field where Van Jefferson is, he's a big guy. He can block. So start to use Calvin.
They've really got away from many of they haven't used really any jet sweeps or anything like that to incorporate Calvin in the run game.
No. And even if he's not run, like if he's just like I said, like he's decoying or being on a screen or, busts out and runs a wheel every once in a while, like you can still use his vertical speed in that type of gadgety role. They did it with Tyreek all the time.
Right.
So I think that could really play benefit for him because he'll start getting some more aggressiveness and then he can just smoke guys over the top. He's fast as hell. And number 3, I think this would be really beneficial right now. There's some times where I watch this, like sometimes the O-line looks good and the run game is good. Like I said, Najee and Jalen both ran well against Kansas City. They both averaged like 4 or 5 yards per carry plus. But I hate some of the play design, the stupid inside tosses, like the G lead stuff. Like it's just kind of archaic. You've got a couple of young O-linemen on the field. Run a little more zone running. It's a lot simpler for those young guys to get used to. The blocking assignments are a lot easier to figure out when defenses throw a different look at you. And, those tosses where you've got 3 pulling guys, it's really easy for one of those guys on the perimeter to slip under a block and blow it up for 3-yard losses. So instead of running some freaky toss play out of bunch that doesn't work ever, run a stretch or a wide zone or duo. No one runs duo anymore. Run a little duo, something.
No, that's Pat Myers. That's his scheme is a lot of zone blocking. Yeah. So I don't know what. I don't know why he sucks. I don't care what anybody says either. He's horrible. Every year we hear about how he gets the offensive line to be good at the end of the year and all this. No, they get better at running the game. They've gotten better running.
When he was in Tennessee, that's all they did. Derrick Henry, they just zone runned everyone to death. I mean, we saw that 2019 playoff run where Tennessee went to the AFC Championship. That's all Baltimore and New England were their first two opponents, and they were really good defenses that year. And Derrick Henry just plowed through because zone running is just simple. That's why it's all colleges run. Colleges never run gap scheme anymore, unless you're like old school. But I mean, even like Army, Navy, like they're all zone option for the most part. No one's running the veer anymore.
Yeah, no, Pat Myers horrible. They need to get rid of him. I don't know why they've continued to keep him.
I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah. So hopefully, can beat the Bengals, get the playoff spot. Everybody wants the Steelers to get in. Hopefully, the Ravens, by some slim chance, lose to the Browns. And then go from there.
It's happened before.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, football, never say never. But I also said that about the Steelers and Chiefs game, and look what happened. So we'll keep my mouth shut on that. But yeah. So Justin, thanks for coming on for the Steelers stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, this is not the end of the show yet, but cool transition. All right, and we are back. We still got a few things to look at. Real quick, a lot of you people said that Kenny was going to be out of the league in a couple years.
Yeah, that was a crazy statement.
A lot of you people thought that Kenny was going to get cut in the preseason. Oh, how about now? Listen. I'm going to preface this now because I know there's going to be somebody that watches the YouTube reel and go, he's not a franchise quarterback. Never said that. Never said he should be starting again. Obviously, Obviously, it's the NFL. Anything can happen, but none of us are saying that. Watch the actual show if you're going to say that. But, yes, Kenny Pickett had probably his best game in the NFL. Let's be totally honest. He could have had.
No. That Cincinnati one after Canada got fired was pretty good.
Yeah, true. But like he also was close to having 3 touchdowns as well, actually, too. But man, but here's the thing though. How about this? In terms of look, not stat wise, look. Probably you could argue is the best he's looked. But 41-7 Eagles smashed the Cowboys. The Cowboys, here's the thing too. The Cowboys look stupid. That's also a plus. So
yeah, that's always great.
So Cooper Rush looked awful, by the way. He was
he
28, 147, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Kenny was 10 for 15, 1 touchdown, 143 yards. He did get hurt again, and Tanner McKee came in through 2 touchdowns. So the backups came to play. So I'm gonna mark something. 26-27. Don't get me wrong. The clip of Kenny's fumble where he did the somersault was funny. I don't know what happened, but it was funny. However,
oh Jesus, Cooper Rush! I'm watching the highlights right now. Oh my God!
If you're and Alex can probably agree with me on this too. If you're gonna post the clip of Kenny's fumble, post the entire clip. Show where his hand got hit. Because people are posting the clip after his arm got hit to make him look bad. And go, he's okay. If you're gonna say that too, talk about what he did after that clip. Be fair then. Don't get me wrong. The fumble looks stupid. Don't get me wrong. It looks stupid. However, his arm got hit, and he also threw a dime to Devontae Smith for a touchdown. He almost had another touchdown to Devontae Smith, but Devontae got tackled at the 1. And also, did you see the clip where he threw a touchdown to A.J. Brown, but he got called back and he got hit, which basically ended his day? That was a good play.
I did not see it yet, but I'm trying to look up.
You'll see it in a second. It was a good play. So, and he also had a rushing touchdown, with a tush push, which, by the way, he got in there. His helmet fell off. His hair was going everywhere. Smile. He ran into the tunnel, got a standing ovation from the dude. I was so happy for him. So happy for him. I don't care what anybody says. I was so happy for him. He got that from his childhood team, and not many people get to do that. So yeah. But yeah. So
Cal Catera, Jesus. That was a crazy catch.
Can we also talk about how A.J. Brown threw Tanner McKee's first touchdown in the crowd?
Yeah, I did see the touchdown from Kenny to Devontae. That was a dot. Let's see what else.
Hey, listen. The quarterback room for Philly, obviously Jalen is he's the starter, no question. But in terms of the quarterback room, they are in a good spot because in the offseason they could trade Tanner or Kenny, and then they still have a solid backup for if Jalen goes down. So I don't know, because I've seen some stuff with Tanner McKee, and I like what I see. But
golly, Cooper Rush, holy cow!
But the crowd,
so bad.
But the crowd of Kenny needs to get cut were really silent after the Eagles game. But yeah, which, by the way, another thing too, Kenny played with broken ribs. And he got 2.
Oh my God, Devontae! How'd you get tackled there?
He got a shot. He got a shot before the game. He got a shot at halftime to play. Another thing I'm going to say that's going to piss some people off. I don't want to hear that Kenny is not a competitor ever again. After that. So yeah, good for Kenny. He got that at his childhood team and his childhood field with some sick ass unis, by the way. Those light green uniforms.
Listen,
awesome.
I was just about to say, I'm making a petition. The Eagles need to go back to having the Kelly green uniforms as their normal home uniforms. I don't care.
just like the Steelers need to go back to the block unis as well in the gold.
Yes.
In the gold end zones. Which, by the way, Tone Diggs was like, I hate Pitt because of the gold, blah, blah, blah. Hey, how's it feel to know that you're riding the coattails of West Virginia's most famous player? Yeah, there we go. But so real quick with the Eagles, I told Alex this before. Obviously, I really don't care what happens to the Eagles in the playoffs. Quite frankly, I hope they get first rounded because like I don't want the Eagles in the Super Bowl, to be totally honest with you. But for our sports journalism minds, I think you let Saquon try to break the record and then sit the starters. But here's my question though: if you sit the starters, who's gonna start that game? Because listen, I think if he can, I think Kenny earned another week of if Jalen isn't playing, then he should start. However, you can also make the argument that what if Jalen goes down in the playoffs and then Kenny's also hurt, then you're relying on your QB3 in the playoffs. So like,
yeah,
I would rest Jalen and I would rest Kenny. And then I would have Ian Book who as their QB2. And then if by some chance you need him, then Kenny's the QB3, emergency quarterback 3.
Yeah, so it would be Tanner McKee, Ian Book, and then Kenny is the emergency 3.
Yeah.
Because they won't activate Jalen, obviously, if they're setting their starters.
Absolutely not. But it'd be nice to see Saquon break the record against the Giants. But hopefully the Eagles get first rounded.
So Saquon's what, like 100 yards, I think, away from the record.
Let him break it. If again,
I'd say let him play the first half, and if he's pretty close, then just let him finish it in the second half. But if he's in the first half and he doesn't look great and he's got like 30 yards, then maybe think about not playing him in the second half just because you want him healthy for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to get the first round bye, so they're going to have to play in round 1. But, I mean, either way, I think you got to let him try. He's 100 yards away.
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, bottom line, good for Kenny. Hope the Eagles lose, and then we'll go from there. But
can we make this one as quick as possible? I don't even want to talk about this.
The most Pat Narduzzi game ever.
Okay, I'll make my one comment. I'll make my one comment that I want to make about this game.
Okay.
Hold up, let me double check real quick. Yep. First of all, actually 2 things, I guess, technically. Shout out David Lynch, the walk-on quarterback. Did his best. He's a walk-on for a reason. Can't hate too hard. Second of all, shout out my true freshman Whitfield quarterback, Julian Duggar. He's probably going to be a dog one day. He looked pretty solid against Toledo. He did throw a pick.
I think he's going to have to go somewhere else if he wants to start, though.
Yeah, unless by some insane odds, Eli Holstein transfers because of a massive NIL bag, which I really don't think is going to happen. Yeah, I think Julian will probably they're pretty much the same age in terms of eligibility and everything. So Julian will transfer somewhere, but I think he'll get a good shot somewhere, and I think he'll be pretty good.
So here's the thing. I want to get the positive out of the way. I think it's clear that Pitt has found their QB2 for next year, and I think it should absolutely be Julian Duggar in case Eli Holstein goes down again. I did like what I saw. However, oh my God, does Narduzzi just not have any confidence in his players? Listen, I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. If Eli Holstein was in that game, we would have blew Toledo out.
Oh, yeah.
If Nate Yardnell would have stayed, we would have beat Toledo. If Julian Duggar would have stayed in, probably would have beat Toledo.
Yeah, if he played the whole game, we probably would have.
Also, ending Gavin Bartholomew's Pitt career in the most Gavin Bartholomew way.
Yeah, well, you know.
But hey, man, listen. Again, if Toledo if Narduzzi didn't do anything stupid, right, and they still would have lost, I would have made the argument. They played with their walk on, got 2 guys that haven't played a snap yet. Yeah. However, I don't know, man. I'm just getting so sick and tired of these Narduzzi games, and he's not going to go anywhere because Pitt doesn't have the money to buy him out, and Narduzzi's not going to leave. He's proven that has loyalty to Pitt, which I respect the loyalty. However, it's time to go.
God, Des Reed is such an animal. I'm just looking at the stat line.
Because here's the thing. If they had a competent coach, I'm going to be real honest, Alex. They have a lot of guys coming back next year. Pitt shouldn't be that bad next year. They're not going to be a college football playoff team, but they could surprise some people. So
they could probably toe the line of 8 wins again next year.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I mean, so stupid. Don't want to waste any more time. I'm sure next week, since Pitt football's done, we'll get back into Pitt hoops. But
yeah.
But yeah. So real quick, the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know why I said it like that. By the way, shout out Justin Champagnie and Bub Carrington, both playing for the Wizards. Champagnie was like 13 for 15, I think, field goal wise, and then had like 30 points for the Wizards. Just okay. Came out of nowhere.
The Raptors are so bad. I didn't realize how bad the Raptors were.
Just came out of nowhere. Now I need to find when the Hawks play next.
They play New Year's Day, 9 p.m.
Against the Nuggets. We suck against the Nuggets this year. But here's the thing. Hawks are 18 and 15. There's still a lot of holes that need to be fixed. In the Southeast standings, they're only 1.5 game behind the Magic. So looking at the last, they also have a 4-game winning streak with a win against the Raptors, a win against the Heat, the Bulls, and the Timberwolves. And their losses are against the Grizzlies, which I want to take a look at this. Yeah, the Grizzlies are 20-9, so like they're a really good team. The Spurs, they do have Wembanyama, but they're 14-13. The Bucks, obviously, they have Giannis, but that was only like 110-102 loss. The last time the reason why I brought up the Nuggets is because the last time they played the Nuggets, 141-111.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously the Mavs with Luka, but
they've played pretty well against most good teams this year.
Yeah, but which by the way, real quick, the Jimmy Butler does want out of Miami. Hot take, ladies and gentlemen. Hot take. Getting Jimmy Butler on the Hawks wouldn't be the worst idea. Make a playoff run. I don't know. I feel like he could add something. Obviously he's getting older, but yeah, I don't know. I would see what you can try to trade for. Maybe you can trade DeAndre Hunter, and I don't know. Few picks, but I don't know. But yeah, so Alex, do you have anything on the NHL?
Oh, actually, wait. Oh, wait. I do. Let me start to heat up a little bit.
A little bit? Well, just a little bit.
17, 16, and 5 now. Let's check the standings. Currently 4th in the Metro. That would, I believe, be good enough for a playoff spot as it currently stands.
I believe so.
Let's go through some of these recent games. Starting with we'll start here.
By the way, real quick, this is the first show. This is the first show of 2025. So happy 2025.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in 2025, right?
All right, let's go back to the game that Bryce and I used as the coin flip for our game to keep me alive in rapid fire. We'll just go through all these games very quickly. 5-4 win at home against the Panthers, 4-2 loss at the Rangers, 5-2 win against the Maple Leafs, 6-2 loss against the Avalanche. That was a bad one. 9-2 win in Montreal was huge. 3-2 OT loss in Ottawa, 3-2 overtime win against the Kings, 5-4 OT win against the Predators, 3-0 loss against the Devils. That was kind of a rough one. 7-3 win against the Flyers. You can call Crosby a crybaby all you want, Flyers fans. He still owns your poverty franchise.
Yep.
And then back-to-back games against the Islanders. First one in New York, 6-3 loss, and then the second one at home, 3-2 win yesterday. So the Pens have climbed back up to 4th in the Metro. I believe they were sitting in last for a minute, actually. The Rangers are at last in the division, which is really weird to say, but it is true. And to see the Blue Jackets at 5 is really funny. But there is one guy that I quickly want to mention because he is starting to get a little hot. And he is a guy that the one and only Dom Kaiser mentioned. So we're going to talk about him real quick.
Yep.
Michael Bunting. Michael Bunting.
Yeah, Michael
4
Bunting.
goals.
Talk about that trade.
3 games. 4 goals in the last 3 games. Not bad.
Sure.
Starting to pick up some steam. Let's see. Do they have his 2024 stats up here? Yeah. 37 games, 11 goals, 10 assists, 21 total points, plus minus and minus 10, which isn't great. But, I mean, he's starting to get a little hot. He's starting to fill his role more. Sidney Crosby broke the franchise record for all-time assists last night, passing Mario Lemieux at 1,034 assists. I texted it to the group chat at approximately 3 a.m. last night.
Woke me up.
Crosby's record-breaking assist was an absolutely disgusting feed from behind the net to Bunting. So, guys starting to heat up a little bit. Crosby's having a good year. I'm not optimistic because I refuse to be optimistic about the 2020's Pittsburgh Penguins, but I mean, Crosby's having one of those seasons, 38 games, 10 goals, 30 assists, 40 points total. He's there. He's still a force. So
yeah. But
we'll see how the Pens do. Let's check quickly what their next couple games are actually. Let's see. We'll just do like next 5. At Red Wings, at Panthers, at Hurricanes. That's a vicious 3-game stretch. And then home against the Blue Jackets and home against the Connor McDavids. So
the Leon Draisaitl.
How did I know?
But
so those are the next 5. There'll be some tests there, but not looking too bad. Still a lot of season left, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so here we go again. The Buccos. We didn't really talk about it that much. But I do want to clarify. I did like the Spencer Horwitz trade. Did give up Luis Ortiz. That's fine because to get something you got to give up something. But that's the only move they've made. And spring training is in 2 months. Now, this happens every year. I do want to clarify that the stuff of Jared Jones possibly getting traded, Mitch Keller too, is all talk. It happens every year at the winter meetings with everybody. It's probably going to happen to Paul Skeens next year. And
the future Yankee.
Future Yankee Paul Skeens. But here's the thing. Stop trading for guys that are getting released. They're getting released for a reason.
Yeah. Right?
Oh my God.
Kind of makes sense.
I was a fool. I was a fool to think that we had a chance to compete in 2024, 2025. The season hasn't even started yet, and I've already given up.
I'm just gonna stand up and give the Pirates a moment of silence. I'm just gonna stand over here.
No, your silence. I know I just broke my own rule, but that's what happens with the Pirates.
I'm just gonna stand in the corner for a moment.
Look at Alex's blurry screen.
Oh yeah,
dude. And you want to know what's funny? I saw an article. Paul Skeens has already become too expensive for the Pirates. Because of how good he's played.
God, really?
Because of how good he's played. I mean, it's basically what we've been saying. Like, it's going to be too expensive to keep him and whatever. So it's like, we're already saying that. But when is enough enough?
Never, apparently.
And I know nothing's going to change with Bob Nutting in charge. We've known this forever. We know. So the last thing I'm going to say about the Pirates is this. And this is going to be to the fan base. By the way, Kutch is back, by the way. Good job. That's another one. The fans are finally starting to speak up. Because here's the thing. Hear me out. Yes, there are still the people that go to the games just to go to the games, and they're putting money in Bob Nutting's pockets, and they're driving up attendance, and it's making Bob Nutting think that there needs to be nothing changed. When in reality, they had the same record as they did in 2023. And by the way, Ben Cherington and Derek Shitface had at the winter meetings said the same thing they said at the 2023 winter meetings about winning and changing the team, and they finished with the same record. They don't know what they're doing. We have said this 1,000 times, and nothing's going to change until actual change has been made, and the change that needs to start being made is Bob needs to sell the team, and it's never going to happen. So this is what's going to keep happening if nobody does anything about it. Journalists can't do anything about it. 1 person, 2, 10, they can't do anything about it. If the entire fan base stops going to the games, putting money in Bob Nutting's pockets, then, and only then, will Bob Nutting finally look and go, something needs to change? Because it has been a proven fact, actually, if you think about it, when a problem is thrown in Bob Nutting's face, he will make change. And you're wondering, Mike, name one instance of that. Okay, Brian Reynolds. He requested a trade from the Pittsburgh Pirates because he was not getting the contract he deserved. Because he's been the best hitter since 2019. And Bob Nutting threw out for, I swear to God, probably the first time ever, a $100 million contract Brian Reynolds' way. Because the fans started saying, Reynolds needs to stay, Reynolds needs to stay, you cannot get rid of Reynolds. So, the original thing I was going to say, there is an ad campaign of a bunch of Pirates fans going around the city putting up billboards saying, sell the team, Bob. There is a radio ad saying, sell the team, Bob. There is ads on the podcast I listen to with DK Pittsburgh Sports saying, sell the team, Bob. So there is finally people doing something about it. People are finally realizing that's what you need to do. So, good. God, I need a beer.
All right. I'm just going to give off the NFL games that actually mean anything this week, and then we'll be done. Let's take a look. I'm just going to do this off the top of my head. Browns, Ravens, and Bengals. Browns at Ravens and Bengals at Steelers is big. Obviously, if the Ravens lose and the Steelers win, the Steelers get the division. If the Ravens win, they get the division. Panthers at Falcons and Saints at Bucks. That's for the NFC South. If the Bucks lose and the Falcons win, they get the division. If the Bucks win, they outright get the division without needing any help. Bears at Packers is probably just for playoff seeding for the Packers, I would imagine. They would want to win this one just so that they get a better seed. Chargers at Raiders. Again, Chargers are fighting for playoff seeding. Seahawks at Rams. That could be for the division right there, I believe, because 49ers and Cardinals are both eliminated. So I believe that game will be for the division. Dolphins at Jets. Dolphins are still vying for that 7 seed in the playoffs. And then Vikings at Lions on Sunday Night Football this week is for the AFC or the NFC North. So those are your games to keep up with this weekend. This weekend? Next weekend. Those are your games to keep up with next weekend. Make sure that you pay attention to those, especially if you're a fan of any of those teams. So, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm still watching the Tush Push touchdown with Kenny and his hair just going everywhere. It was hard. It was hard. But yeah, by the way, everybody that watched the debate last week, thank you. It was a fun debate, and also Elo's interview. I hated the edit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this week, and I'm just gonna say that this is the plan as of right now of this recording. We are planning on doing a football review show for Edinburgh football for the show this Friday. And then I will do a spotlight 2024 spotlight review for Sunday, and hopefully next week we do the normal show, mock draft show, and we're gonna look back at the 2024 moments from the entire Tailgate Talks show, because obviously it wasn't just spotlight. That was amazing this year.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, and then of course, yes, I do have the Joe Bat video that will be out in probably January. I'm trying to find a spot for it, and also it's the emergency video if I absolutely need something. But yeah. So, yeah, episode 54. Jeez. Here we go.
Wait, trucking right along.
Which by the way, I like doing this. I like doing this every time. I'm gonna see where we were for episode, or what episode was it this time last year, and what was episode 54 the first time.
Yeah.
On Edinburgh now. So that means a year ago was the show before the Colts game, and we had Bryce on. And then the last episode 54 was okay. It was one of the worst shows I've ever been on. If you know, you know.
Oh God, yeah, that one.
And then actually we can do this now because we've been obviously doing this for 2 years. So I want to see which show it was for 2 years ago. The first time we had I believe the first time we had AJ on.
Yeah.
And then this Wednesday, oh my God, dude, listen to this. This Wednesday, New Year's Day, is going to be 2 years since we had Coach Miller on.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know, but all right, you know what to do.
It's actually the middle of the day right now, so good afternoon, America.